Join discord.gg/flat earth and enter a VC check-in room and someone will come along to VC verify and get involved with the conversation about our Earth. Now we have time for a meeting with the real flat earthers.
Yeah, appreciate it, Russ. All right, let me unmute these guys. Before I get back to you, Archcurse, just hold tight for a second.
Yo.
I'm going to see if these guys are here. All right, Shawruss, are you there?
I'm not speaking.
Shawruss, are you there?
I'm not speaking here. No shot. It's a flat earth Discord.
All right, bro. Hang tight. We're also happy to have you, man. Maybe you got dragged in here by one of your buddies and you're like, what the fuck is this? I guarantee you're going to have a load of fun right now, man. So, yeah, that's what we're here to do. Let's have fun. You never know what might happen, right? Keep it going, Miggy. Welcome, everyone.
So we got Spank that's also in here. Let me see if Spank is wanted to talk to us. Spank, are you there?
Yo, how you doing?
What's going on, Spank?
Yeah, look, not a lot, man. Just vibing, you know how it is.
Awesome. So, we're just going to welcome all of you guys, Archcurse and Spank, brand new to the server. And we do want to give you some roles here, so I'll give you VC verified, Spank. And
cheers, bro. I appreciate it.
That means that, okay, so if you have VC verified, that means that in the voice channel that you're in right now, there's a text channel that's right above it. And I want to direct your attention to that text channel because I'm going to drop the live stream. And that's a 24/7 live stream that we have on YouTube. And here it is. And what we do there is we record these streams 24/7, 7 days a week. So that's for your benefit because you can clip that out, send it to your friends or whatever, say, hey, I was on 24/7 or whatever. But we also use it to our benefit as well because we're able to go back on something that you may have said. And, if Casey said, I didn't say that. We're like, yeah, you did. So we're live streaming 24/7. But with that, you can see the live stream voice text because we put relevant information there. And so with me kind of giving you that little introductory spiel, I do want to get to know you guys. So we can start with Spank. Spank, what brought you to the server? And what is your position of the topic of the shape of the Earth?
Yeah, look, bro, I was invited by my good friend Archcurse here. He told me about the Discord and he invited me in. It's currently 3 a.m., so not really doing a whole lot. Just thought I'd drop in and check out what's going. My input on the shape of the Earth, I guess, is... I'm not the biggest believer in flat Earth, to be completely honest, but here I am.
Okay. So hopefully we can challenge you, Spank. And just hold tight because Kansas will be going bye-bye in a little bit. All right, so we got Archcurse that's in here. You were muted, by the way, Archcurse. And
I was, yeah.
Introduction. Yeah, give us an introduction of yourself and then just tell us what your position is.
My introduction of myself?
Yeah, if you don't mind. So we can get to know you.
So, what do you want me to introduce about myself?
Say, I'm Archcurse. I'm 20 years old. I study math. I don't know, dude. I'm just making... Well,
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm Archcurse. I'm 23. And I don't really study much anymore. But I did graduate. But yeah.
Okay.
My perspective on the Earth is, I haven't been here much longer, so I got invited like a couple of weeks ago. So I haven't been here much. But yeah, it's interesting hearing from you guys.
All right. So what is your position on the topic of the shape of the Earth? Do you think the Earth's a globe or what? Give us a little info on that.
I think it is a globe, but I could be wrong. Here to learn more.
Excellent. All right, so the thing that we're going to do right now that we got introductions out of the way, is we're going to open up the floor to the new people. Of course, you guys came in brand new. You guys can ask questions, right? We'll do some asking of the questions. We'll do some answers, but there's a lot of in-depth information we want to ask you guys. So we don't want to skip out if you have these questions that's just like, a little splinter in your mind. We want you to get to those questions. We'll answer them. And then we'll fill in some context, okay? So just remember what I said right now. So I don't want you to take it like, oh, you just said this, but there's no context. No, I'm telling you, we're going to answer your questions that you have right now straight away. And then we're going to fill in a whole bunch of context and then possibly ask you guys some questions. Is that cool? I want to make it fair to you guys. Yeah. So you're new. Okay. So any of you new guys have any questions, please go and answer. We can start with Archcurse and work our way down if you want. Ask us anything, man.
Anything?
Yeah.
Why do you believe the Earth is flat when satellites show that the Earth is circle? I mean, Sophia.
Okay. Anybody want to take this? I just open it up for you guys. I love my panel, so whoever wants to chime in from the panel.
Same reason I don't believe in Bigfoot and the Loch Ness Monster, even though there's lots of people who believe that, and there's quote-unquote lots of pictures. The exact same reason. You go into reality and it doesn't seem to match.
If I could chime in, I think from a most basic level is you have to ask yourself about outer space, where these satellites are in outer space. You have to get into propulsion and what these satellites push off of. Here on Earth, Newton's third law of motion works perfectly well, where you have something that goes one direction, has an opposite reaction or medium going the other direction. Works great with cars, airplanes, submarines, works great everywhere. But when you go into outer space, which is a vacuum, where nothing can ignite and nothing can be pushed forward because it's a vacuum behind, what causes these satellites to actually move around? What causes a spaceship, a rocket, to move in the outer space? What caused us to get to the moon in 1969 to 1972? There's nothing to push off of. So it's a complete fairy tale that we've been lied to since age 5.
I'm not Robot, and I want to chime in real quick. Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
The main reason I believe the Earth is not a spinning globe is the natural physics of water. Yes. They tell us that water covers the surface approximately 70%, depending on what you look at, 70 to 80%, whatever it is. Anyway, water does not conform to convex shapes and make a ball. So there you go. You guys go ahead.
All right, let's turn it back real quick to Archcurse. Archcurse, is there any more questions you want to ask? And if you don't have any more, I'll go ahead and go to another person. But if you have some more, go ahead and ask another.
Yeah, just go on to someone else.
All right. So we got Spank in here. Spank, did you have any questions?
Yeah, look, I guess one is even if it sounds silly,
even if it sounds silly, I don't just ask it.
When I look through a telescope into the night sky and I look at, for example, when we can see planets like Mars and all that sort of thing, they are circular. They are curvature, and you can see that they're not completely flat. So, what makes you guys think that Earth is any different?
The guy responded 1 minute ago.
Answer the question. Yeah, answer the question if you guys can. Let's answer them because we're trying to move.
Questionnaire in the chat. I'm just going to post a quick multiple choice questionnaire in the chat. I'd love you just to give us a quick answer. Are you able to see the live stream voice text? 4 minutes past the hour, you'll see a quick screen grab of what looks to be 4 spheres. Could you give us an answer? Are these all spheres? One of them is a sphere? Some of them are spheres, or none of them are spheres?
That's to Spank. Spank, if you're there, that's to you, sir.
I don't have access to text Discord.
Yeah.
Sorry, my internet's being really fucking
give me
shit.
Give me 1 second. I'll make sure you have the ability to see that. Or guys, I'm on mobile, so if somebody else wants to help them out with that.
He's got VC verified. That's the text channel that I was directing you to, Spank, at the beginning of our introduction.
Should be above the text. It should be above the voice.
Yeah, right above the voice channel. Let me know when you're there, Spank.
Well, I mean, with it being a picture, it's kind of hard to tell, to be honest.
That's fine. It's okay. We're just it's a good starting point for us here. So just A, B, C, or D?
Well, I would like to assume that they were all spheres, but it's like I said, I can't really tell. It's a picture, right?
It's okay. It's okay to get it wrong. We're just going to walk through this. So let's start with an answer and then we'll move forward.
Sure, I would
it's
say at
multiple
least
choice
one
here.
of them is spheres. Let's say.
Okay, so B, one of them is here. That's actually correct. So let's move forward to which one would be the one.
I'm tossing up between the first one or the second one.
First one or second one. Okay. Sasha, go ahead and post the GIF. I know you were a little quick there. If you want to repost it, I can grab it if you need to.
Wait.
I can grab it too if you need me to.
Oh, okay.
You were a little quick there, buddy. Almost gave me.
Well, I wanted to help him that he have visualization.
No cheating. No cheating.
Okay.
But you're correct. So one of them is a sphere. You said between the first one or the second one. So Sasha, you got it, or you want me to grab it?
Yeah, I posted.
So the second one, you'll see here in the GIF, it's actually a piece of paper. And what's funny is most people, when I ask this question, most people tend to go for the second one. The first one, demi-sphere. The second one, piece of paper. Third one, another half circle or half sphere. And the last one is actually a sphere. So the fourth one in the picture was the sphere. So what happens is a lot of people go, well, I look in the sky and I clearly see spheres. Are you sure? I mean, I'm not saying that they're pieces of paper or anything, but are you sure you're able to detect that these are spherical objects in the sky? I'm not so sure. Go ahead, guys.
Yeah, and I want to answer him. You said, I see the Mars, I see the planets in the sky. That's okay. Maybe you see them circular, not spherical. That's also okay. But that doesn't have nothing to do with the Earth because you are not observing Earth.
That's a good point, Sasha. When we look up in the sky, we see lots of things, and nothing up there resembles the Earth, even slightly. So it's kind of weird that people want to compare the Earth to things in the sky. Now, I'm sure, well, a lot of people have this outer space video game running. So you can't put Halo in a PlayStation. So you also can't gather around outer space and try to load a disk into outer space and call that flat Earth. The flat Earth doesn't belong in outer space. They don't go together. They're just not compatible. So it's not like all these spheres in space and then this one disk. It's just completely wrong programming. So we got to start from scratch,
Spank,
not from outer space.
Spank, did that answer your question or the visual anyway?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Do you have any other questions? Don't matter how absurd they are, we have to answer them directly.
None that I can think of at the moment. Thank you.
Okay. Does that conclude everybody that's new? We got Russ still in here. I know you're on the flat Earth side, but
yeah, I don't have any questions. I do like to ask Goldberg a question though, and this kind of got me when somebody asked me this. If you had never heard of the idea of flat Earth, of a globe Earth before, and you walked outside, would you think that the Earth was standing still and stationary, or would you think it's spinning through space and the sky rotating around the planets? Would you think So I butchered that, but I'm sure that was somewhere along the lines of the question I was asked, and I'm like, if I never heard of it, if I was never indoctrinated with it, I probably would say it's stationary and everything's rotating around us in the sky. I'm curious to hear their answers.
So to sum up the question, if you were never told about a globe, would you go outside and think that the Earth was moving and curved and globular? Feel free to answer that.
Yeah, I think it was Spank or Ethergrass.
No, Spank. It was Spank and Archcurse. Those are the two people that are
of
the mind of the Earth. They're the two people that are of the mind of the Earth as a globe at the moment.
Thank you.
So the challenge begins, gentlemen. So when you're in the server, we want to challenge the way you think. So hopefully you can start to engage with your critical thinking skills and maybe address what Russ just said. and also Creation Bear.
I see you want me to answer the question. If I walked outside right now, what would I think?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I wouldn't really.
It's not
I was asked a
question.
question. If I was asked a question, if I thought I wouldn't know how to answer it. Like school and all that teach you that it's sphere, so everyone just like learns that it's a sphere.
Yeah, the important
and through science as well.
The important part of that question is if you were never taught that it was a sphere spinning through outer space, if you were to go outside and you were never taught that, what would you think? Would you think that the Earth is standing still below, stationary below you? You're saying you don't know. Okay.
I wouldn't know. Yes.
Okay. Got it. Thank you.
All right, Spank. How about you?
Sorry, I had to go my dog shit in the lounge room, so I couldn't hear the question. Apologies.
Yeah,
if you want to ask it again.
CB, if you want to run through that question.
Yeah, it was the other guy's question, right? I just was reiterating. If you were never told that you were spinning and the Earth was curved, would you go outside and then that would be something you originally came up with? You would go outside. Is that something would that even cross your mind if no one ever told you that? And it's not a gotcha question, so don't worry. We're not going to grill you if you say one or the other.
I guess not really, right? Like, it's not really something that you actively think about. But like, when it comes down to it, like, how can you really know anything when you ask questions like that? Like, I guess, like, if you said the same thing to someone, like, how do we know the moon's real unless we actually go there and touch it ourselves, right? Like, what if it's just someone projecting something into the sky that we don't even know is actually there?
Well, the first half of your statement was great. You lost me there at the end with what if it's a projection? But like, yeah, I mean, how would you know? That's a good place to start. You don't just assume things. You find out what you can test and go test it. We can't test what the moon is, but we can definitely test what the Earth is and what the Earth is doing. So I would say start there. Go ahead, Mickey. Back to you.
All right, so we definitely do want to challenge you some more. So I'm going to actually call on one of the team members here to engage with you guys. And let's see if he can pose a challenging question for you. Sasha, go ahead if you want to ask them, the gentleman here, a question. Let's see if you can challenge them. The time for you to shine, dude. You got bad mic. What the fuck, Sasha?
How did that happen? Listen, this.
You're fighting. Listen, and the reason why I'm laughing is because Sasha's always trying to get in a word when it's real heated. Now that it's real clear that there's nobody talking, it's all about Sasha, and his mic doesn't work. It's so funny, dude. Like,
I do have one question while we're waiting, if that's all right.
Yeah, go ahead, Spank.
In regards to it being a flat Earth, how exactly do seasons work then? For example, so in the United States, it's summer, but in Australia, it would be winter. Like, how does that work in regards to how seasons work and all that sort of thing?
I'll pose it to the team. Anybody who wants to chime in? I'll pick up the slack if you guys don't. So,
if I might bad, I'll answer.
For me, go ahead.
Hold on.
So it's all to do with the sun and the light and the angle of the sun.
Somebody else got it, my bad.
Yeah. Hang on, Dick. I'll let Dave do it, and then you can answer it after him. So, Dave.
Just real quick while my mic's working. The sun is obviously, we don't claim how far it is, but it's closer than what we all got taught. It only lights up certain parts of the plane as it goes around, or whatever motion it does. So go ahead.
Dick, you want to say this?
Yeah, I was sort of saying the same thing. It works because the seasons are dictated by the light and the heat given off by the sun, and that's determined by the angle of the sun over the flat plane. Yeah, so in spring, when it pops over the equator at 0 degrees, that's when the sun starts to infiltrate growth
and it gives its light in different areas. And as it moves around and at different angles and heights, it dictates what happens on Earth with vegetation and growth. It's nothing to do with the shape of the Earth. It's all to do with the sun's angular perception onto the Earth.
Isn't it assumed, though, that the sun's rays always come in at the same angle, so therefore it should still correspond to the same season throughout all over of Earth, no?
Well, you was right with saying the word assumed.
So it kind of disproves both theories then in that case, right? Because we don't know.
Well, you asked the question how the seasons work. Seasons are dictated by the light of the sun, its location, and its angle. And that's how seasons work. So that's the answer to your question.
Okay, sure. Thank you.
Well, let's apply the same amount of rigor to both sides. What are they telling you? They're saying the Earth is tilted, spinning, and revolving. So is that true?
Well, again, it would be an assumption. So both sides would be equally incorrect if we're throwing out assumptions. No, that's what I'm getting at.
Yeah. Let me real quick, guys. I had to pop in here. I'm gonna address everybody new that's comes in so that we can make this forum today be a little bit more robust. So I might be interjecting in between you guys talking. So just to announce new people. So Crabman Jones has just popped in here, and I'm gonna unmute Crabman Jones. Crabman Jones, welcome to the chat. Are you there? Crabman Jones, are you there?
Don't be shy. We're a diverse group.
If you want to contact us, Crabman Jones, and if you work out your mic situation, just hop in here and say, "Hey, what's up?" That way I know. Then I could stop the chat again and then address you. But you're unmuted at the moment, so you can hop in whenever you want. Spank, back to you, and CB.
Mayhem, could I address Spank?
Sure. I don't know. Spank, did you finish? Actually, I don't know if he was done.
Yeah. It's all good.
Thanks, Spank. Thanks, Mayhem. Spank, your side, the heliocentric, I don't want to call it your side, forgive me. The heliocentric side says that you got your seasons 4.5 billion with a B years ago when a large asteroid or planet called Theia, Theia, slammed into the Earth when it was perfectly north-south and caused it to tilt at 23.4 degrees. And part of that became the Earth, and the other part became what we know today as the Moon. So the seasons on the heliocentric model came about because of some asteroid or planet 4.5 billion years ago, and not the fact that our sun moves between the north, between Capricorn and Cancer at 23.4 degrees north, 23.4 degrees south to give us our seasons. Now, I don't want to get into theology, but which is more believable? The fact that maybe we were created with a perfect system that gave us 23.4 degrees north and south that moves up and down, moves that way, or that a something 4.5 billion years ago called Theia, Theia, slammed into a perfectly straight up and down Earth and tilted at 23.4 degrees. Which is more believable?
I don't know, man. It's so early to be thinking about shit like that. Like, that's like so out of my scale. Like, I'm not thinking about anything like that, man.
The other, just sorry to interject. The other thing on that as well regarding the supposed tilt. I mean, if you look at the supposed poles and their weather conditions, they're supposed to get 6 monthly cycles of the same tilt towards and against the sun. And if you look at the climates on the so-called North Pole and Antarctica, totally different temperatures, totally different vegetation, totally different conditions, where they should be the same if that was the case.
If you had a 23.4 degree tilt on a spinning space ball in the vacuum of outer space, you would have similar temperatures at the north and the south. The record low in the North Pole is 89 degrees negative Fahrenheit, The record temperature, low temperature in Antarctic is negative 135. That's 46-degree difference. The highest it gets in January in Antarctica is negative 9 Fahrenheit, and it easily gets into the 20s and 30s in the North Pole. So if you lived on a spinning space ball in the vacuum of outer space, which gives sunlight to the North and the South Pole equally, you would have something similar. There is 3.3 million people that live in the Antarctic Circle or above, and there is nobody who lives permanently in the Antarctic region, 66 degrees south. Nobody. You have 56 countries of the Antarctic Treaty that live there. They come and go, but nobody is permanent resident there, where you have 3.3 million in the north. There is something going on that we aren't told about.
My point exactly.
Any more questions, gentlemen?
How seasons works on the heliocentric model?
I would think you have to address them directly, Sasha, because they don't know who you're talking to. So they're not answering. That's why.
Because there must be the answer, for that. If you're asking how seasons working on the flat Earth, that means it must work on the globe. It's some story there.
Yeah.
Due to the rotation or due to
But there is no tilt, especially when it comes to setting up your EQ mounts and look at to make stellar photography and all of that. When you look at that, all of a sudden there is no earth tilt. When you're I would see that probably just go over. I probably should provide some diagrams if you guys are interested.
You're coming in and out, Elijah.
No, you guys are doing a fine job. Keep on rocking on. I'm probably cutting in and out because I'm trying to run COD Mobile at the same time, so I'm going to just listen because you guys are doing well.
Cool. All right, so we got Archcurse and Spank. They are both of the mind that the Earth is a globe. At the moment, right now, I'm going to challenge them, but I'm waiting for everybody to kind of get their questions out of the way. So the challenge is coming, but does anybody want to pose any more challenging questions to them? Because Sasha just said something, but I don't know if Archcurse and Spank.
It's all right to go with you with yours.
I mean, I
honestly didn't understand the question.
Yeah. The question wasn't understood, Sasha. So maybe
the question is, doesn't matter if you don't know, but the question was how the seasons works on the flat Earth. That means that somebody has the method how that's working on the globe. My question would be how the season work on the globe.
So it's basically the same question, but back to you guys. So you were asking the question, how do seasons work on a flat Earth? Sasha's like, how do seasons work on a globe? Do you guys know?
I believe a really brief summary is the Earth's annual movement around the sun, as well as the 23-degree tilt of the Earth itself, means that during some seasons, obviously winter, the days are shorter, so the sun warms the ground for less each day. I'm no geologist or astrologist or anything like that studies that shit, but that is the brief rundown of what is the seasons.
I mean, I'll just, what we're talking about here is seasons and light being projected onto the Earth and heat and the sun movement. This has nothing to do with the shape of the Earth. It's just the sun's movement and angular position relative to it. So if we're going to presume a tilt and a spinning globe, we first have to establish and prove that the Earth is spherical. And so for that, we'll need some measurements and proof of the measurements of your supposed Earth curve presumptions of a radius with 3959. So if you could let everybody know how the Earth was measured and in physical reality to come to that conclusion, we'd all be really happy to listen and hear you out.
That wasn't the question I was answering. And again, like I said, I am far too much of a small person to have any of that knowledge. Like I am just here for a bit of a vibe, you know. Like I don't have the answers to these questions because I'm not fully prepared to debate like this.
I might be smaller than you, a Mexican, so you're not that small.
I mean, I can appreciate that, but obviously, if you're talking about the tilt of the Earth and the Earth's a globe and spinning, you're making some assumptions. So, but in the first instance, we need to establish if the Earth is a globe and how that was determined. Before, and we cannot go any further talking about tilt, gravity, or any other subject until we can confirm that we live on a spherical Earth with a radius value of 3959. So we need to determine how that was established. So you need to be speaking about that and telling us how that was established in the first instance, then we can move on.
That I agree with that. That's all good. I agree with him too, because he was asked specifically about seasons on this globe model, and for that he described it well. So, good for you, sir. Learn the globe model before you reject it.
Axe, that's step one. Step one, know what the globe claims are. Then step two, test those claims. You can't skip those steps and then get to a flat Earth, in my opinion. I would recommend you do any step.
Step 3, welcome to flat Earth.
All right, to the gentlemen that are in here who think the Earth is a globe, do you guys have any more questions for them? Like, obviously, the ones that you asked right now is you need to learn the globe, but what are we asking them essentially?
Great question.
No, well, I mean, obviously, you're saying you need to learn the globe, but is there anything directed to them? Deck, did you have something directed to the gentleman? What was your question?
I do. My mug's still working.
Well, yeah, but I just want to see, Deck, are you there?
Sorry. Yeah, sorry, mate. I was just cut out there. Sorry, mate. What did you say?
What was your question to the gentleman? What did you ask?
I'm asking them to demonstrate how the Earth is measured in physical reality according to the globe claim.
Okay.
How is it measured? How do we measure it?
Yeah, that's to a curse. Oh, sorry, I'm not overlapping.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Sorry. Yeah, so basically, you're claiming a globe Earth. How is it measured in physical reality? How do we observe it, and how do we measure it in physical reality? Because I've never seen the curve, and I've never felt Earth spin. So it's got values, it's got geometric values. So can you talk us through that and explain who measured it and how it was measured, please?
Well, I just looked it up, and supposedly the Greeks measured it back in the 90s. And yeah, I honestly didn't come in here just to like I didn't really want like an argument. I sort of just wanted to hear your guys' opinions and not really like
I mean, I'm definitely not arguing. I mean, I'm just like, you know, it's just there's a claim out there that we live on a spinning ball with a certain radius value, and it's got geometric implications to it. So, which I've never been able to prove to myself or observe. So you're in the mindset that you live on a globe and it's spinning through a vacuum of space.
Well, yeah, that's just what I've been taught in school.
So it's a belief then?
It's like you get molded when you're young on what to believe in. You don't really ask questions about your teachers. You just answer the questions on the sheets they give you.
Yeah.
So what people grow up to believe is ingrained in them. They don't really have a choice.
Sorry to interject, but not the right place to come if you're looking for opinions.
What Archcurse said was, if I may interject, what Archcurse said was right on target. We are all born in, the eyes are useless when the mind is blind. We are all born into a prison system we cannot see, therefore we cannot get out of. But once the veil is lifted, there is no turning back. So, Archcurse, the greatest gift you can give yourself going forward is to think for yourself. Because once you think for yourself, you truly become free because you start to see the truth. And when you see the truth shall truly set you free.
All right, I'm just going to address something that the gentleman Archcurse said. You said, I'm not here to debate. You're kind of just like hanging back and asking questions. But what we want to do when you came in here, I did preface your guys when I, told you that, welcome and all that. I was saying we're going to challenge you. Okay, so it's okay to use your critical thinking skills in here to kind of think about the questions that we're going to pose to you. So it's not just learning about what we're talking about in here. It's also engaging with the questions and seeing if there's any merit to what we're saying versus what you previously think it is. So it's a lot to do more with your critical thinking than it has to do with just getting some answers. Because anyone can go anywhere and read up about it, right? I mean, that's not what you want. You want to hear how to engage with your critical thinking about the questions that are being posed to you. And that's what it is.
Yeah, you say this with the critical thinking, but you want us to provide evidence and stuff. Like you guys want us to provide evidence, even though, I don't know much about why the Earth is sphere or why the Earth is flat.
Well, just a pro tip in general, brother, is to just stick to things that you do know, so that when you say them and someone asks you, okay, well, can you back it up? You'll already have the support. So it's okay if you don't know things. You'll end up learning in the process. But I wanted to add this one thing as well. It's almost like a game. I look at it like a game of catch. So we're going to have a point. We're going to throw it out to you. We're going to hope that you are able to catch it and return it. Instead of just us throwing heaters at you all day that you can't hit, we want to at least have an engaging back and forth. So, whoever said it's not a place for opinions, I kind of agree with that. We need the dialogue is where a lot of the traction happens. So the back and forth. We need to kind of underhand throw like a nice easy point to you. Let's do that. We can start slow. Go ahead, Mickey. Sorry to jump in there.
Yeah, it's a good analogy. But what do you think about that, Archcurse? Yeah, and Spank as well. You guys, that's what it's all about. Engaging with the question. Say, hey, I don't know the answer to that. I believe it, or whatever the case. But so that we know where you're coming from, and maybe you can identify some of the flaws in logic that you might have, where previously you're like, nah, man, it's a globe. Now when you're coming in here, well, shoot, I don't know if it's a globe or not. You guys got me thinking. And that's what we want to do. We want you to start to think about stuff. I mean, if you don't have the answer, that is, but. So, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, it's good.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say that if anybody else wants to come and challenge Spank and Archcurse, with any more questions.
I'll say one more thing. It's important to know that I think a large majority, I'd say most flat earthers, started off believing in the globe pretty passionately. I know for myself, I watched all the documentaries. I believed in, all the galaxies and all that stuff. Very passionate about that. So, we were just like you guys. I just wanted to throw that out there. Some people have this weird idea that flat earthers fell off a truck and hit their head and never heard of the globe before. So when you were saying well, I was raised like this, so were we, bro. There comes a point when you start to test your worldview. And I think upon investigation is when things start to sort of fall apart. I noticed someone said something earlier about the seasons and the light rays coming in parallel, I believe. That's kind of what I heard. Well, that's something you would want to investigate. Are the light rays really coming in parallel? And if that's not true, then what does that mean? So, yeah. Your investigation starts here, folks. Think of it like you just arrived to the crime scene. The first thing you need to do is gather up evidence. Whose blood is that? I see that camera up there. Let's get the CCTV footage from that. Oh, there's a bullet shell. Let's get some fingerprints off of that. So let's gather up all the evidence we can. That's what a good investigator would do. So
to Archcurse and Spank, a big portion of what the information you have in your mind has a lot to do with what you've been told, right? You've been told all this information and how to memorize it and then regurgitate it at any point in the future, which also, if you don't know any information, just hit the Wikipedia and there it is, right? So engaging with the idea that the Earth is a globe or not was never really something I guess you guys thought about, right? Because somebody out there figured it out and someone smart enough, and therefore you might say, I'm not a scientist. How should I know, right? I mean, that sounds kind of what you guys might be thinking right now. Archcurse, Spank?
Yes.
Right. I mean, we're just trying to be fair with it, but on the side of it being like that, then wouldn't you think that's kind of curious that you can't go investigate yourself? I mean, my goodness, you're standing on the Earth, right? You're on the Earth that's allegedly a globe. And so the thing is, if they give us the metrics to the size of the Earth, as in radius, diameter, circumference, they're telling us, hey, the Earth is a certain size. So if it's a certain size, well, can't we just figure it out geometrically, right? I mean, wouldn't you guys think?
Yeah, but don't you think the people that have satellites in the space that can see from outer space what the Earth looks like are telling the truth?
It would have to match reality then. We don't just stop at the pictures, just like with Bigfoot. We don't just see a picture of Bigfoot and go, okay, well, I guess that must be true. You actually go out and see if it matches reality. So if the pictures from space show curved lakes, curved oceans, then when we go to the lake in reality, it should be curved. So that's the thing you would need to test. So you don't just stop at the pictures.
But if every single astronaut who goes to space and every single physicist,
what I just said holds
tells
true,
you.
But what I just said holds true. It still have to go into reality, and it has to match what they're saying. And if it doesn't, then you do you go with their personal testimony or with reality as it presents itself?
All
I'll
I'm
take
trying to say
reality
is,
all day.
yeah, but sorry. What I was trying to say is, if everyone, like every single astronaut, physicist, all saying the Earth is flat. I mean, not flat, is a sphere, then wouldn't you trust it?
No, it's not about what people say, because you shouldn't just believe automatically what people say, not even what we're just saying. Point blank, you should go out and test what we're saying is true. So that's the whole point of this server. We don't just listen to people and their testimony and then stop. If you were a jury, think if you were the jury, right, in a courtroom. You don't just go off of what people say. You go off of the evidence.
What do you think the judge does?
Yeah, he goes off of evidence. He doesn't just go off of credentials.
The evidence that's presented by people, but they could be lying. But that's what lawyers are for.
Yeah, that's what the evidence is for, though. Blood can't lie. If we test whose blood is that, that's the evidence. Fingerprints, that's the evidence. The camera footage with the person committing the crime, that's the evidence.
Yeah, but that can all be forged. That can all be forged, so you can lie.
Okay, wait. Here, let me just point this out real quick. This is what I find interesting. What happens? The mainstream looks at us like the conspiracy guys. We're the crazy ones. You're supposed to be sort of like hold on. Let me finish.
Yeah,
I'm not saying you are mainstream. I'm saying there's this idea that flat earthers are very crazy. We have conspiracy ideas, whatever. You are supposed to be sort of the mainstream representative. Hey, I believe in the globe and all that stuff. Why now are you all of a sudden going full crack pipe conspiracy theory mode? Oh no, evidence is fake. That's supposed to be us, bro. So just don't flip. You don't need to flip that switch and go full conspiracy mode when we're talking about evidence. That must be fake blood then.
Oh, no, I'm just saying because like, do you guys? Yeah, but do you guys have the evidence? Like,
yeah, of course. We're trying to.
So you guys been to space?
Yeah, no, the evidence of the evidence of the Earth. I'm just going to jump in here, Archcurse. Like, okay, so we need you to focus on one thing that was being said. So you were talking about pictures from space, right? Satellites and stuff.
Yes, and yes.
So what Gemsy? I was going to say Gemsy. What Creation Bear was actually telling you to do was to take that image, right, and say, okay, we have a curved surface here from this image. Now, we're not up there, right? And possibly you couldn't go there because of logistics and money and such, but you're on the Earth. So you have a curved surface on this image, but I'm on the Earth, so I can go somewhere like a body of water where this image shows that it's curving, and now I can test that. I'm going to test that body of water to see if there's curvature on it. That's the most important thing, because if you're now saying that there's curved bodies of water, well, reality, when I go out into the field, right, and see it for myself and test it to see if it has that curvature, that's how I'm going to know it is indeed curving, just like they say it is in those images. And an astronaut says, hey, man, the Earth's pretty curved up here. And you're like, yeah, cool story, bro, but I'm going to go check it out for myself. And when you do, you're going to find out that is exactly what they're saying is true, because you're going to test it. So the testing phase is what we're doing after we make our observation, then we're going to test it. Is that fair? Because I mean, I don't think that's out of the realm of like, something that's really hard to do or something that's terrible to say. It's like, it's not taboo. It's just, go and test it. If they're showing curved bodies of water in an image, then say, that's fine. Let me go and test it now. Is that reasonable, Archcurse?
Sorry, I still zoned out.
So you didn't hear anything I said?
Come on,
I heard the end of it.
Okay.
You see space pictures, selfies from space that show curved lakes. You can go to that lake and test to see if it's really curved. That's the ultimate point. And you said something about space I wanted to address, but no, go ahead.
Is that reasonable, Archcurse?
You didn't really answer my question, but yeah, I guess it's okay.
Well, let me answer that. Let me answer. I think I know. I've got the answer, because you brought up outer space. So I say this. I've been saying this lately. Halo does not load in a PlayStation. They are not compatible. So you can't load a disc into outer space and call that flat Earth. There is no flat Earth plus outer space. That's cap. So no, we're not talking about going to space and seeing a flat Earth. I don't understand that. Okay, well, I can explain. So you would see outer space, or sorry, let me start with the Earth. You would see the Earth, the globe, as a place that exists within a place called outer space, right?
Yes.
Okay, so would you say that the outer space is another place that exists within another place, or is that the place that things exist within? Like the globe and the galaxies and black holes. Those exist within space, right? That's the place that they exist within.
I think the wording is confusing, so I don't quite get what you're trying to say.
So is there another space that outer space exists within?
Ooh.
Oh, hold on. Let me just get to the end of my point, Sasha. Hold on.
I still don't understand.
Okay.
What you're trying to get at.
So you see the Earth as a place that exists within another place called outer space.
Yes,
right?
I agree with that, yes.
So is space a place that exists within another place, or is it the place? Is it the place that things exist within?
Like, if there are multi-universes, are there
Hold on, Brandon. Hold on. Hold on, Brandon.
Multi-species.
Hold on, buddy.
Yeah, I don't understand the description still.
All right, I'll just tell you instead of asking. Outer space is the place that things exist within. It's claimed to be.
Yes.
Okay, so there's not like an outside place outside of outer space. Do you follow?
Well, that's where people think of like parallel universes, right? That's what they think. That's like
that's where I mean, I guess that's where people's weird ideas come.
It's confusing.
Yeah.
Listen, I'll just get to the end of this. We don't see the Earth as a place that exists within another place. That's why people have issues with trying to put a flat Earth in outer space. So the flat Earth doesn't go in outer space. They're just not compatible. In the same way that outer space isn't a place that exists within a bigger place, Earth is the place. It's not a place that exists within a bigger place called outer space. I'm sorry I've had to say this a few times, but I'm not sure how that
I'm not gonna lie. Just like you saying "place" like 1,000 times is confusing the absolute living fuck out of me. I can't think of anything.
I could call it existence. Is there another existence outside
cosmology?
of
Cosmology could be a word. Do you know what cosmology is, Archcurse?
No, not really. Surely there's like an easier word.
If you went to the edge of outer space, what's outside of that?
Probably like people don't know, but like people say parallel universe and stuff like that. Yeah.
so there's no like you don't go to the edge of space and then jump off and now you're in like another place. Reality, that's how we see the Earth. There's not some outside area you can go to and look back and take selfies with the Earth. So that's what I'm trying to get at.
You guys don't believe in outer space, is that what you're trying to say?
Hell no.
So you guys think
we'll get
so you guys think outer space doesn't exist at all?
It's a fictional setting, yeah.
We'll get to that. Just we'll explain why. Okay, but
I wasn't like I was just understanding. Like I was agreeing with him.
So all right. So he just explained to you like the idea of what you have leaving Earth and all that. What do you call that? And so now you know.
Yeah, I believe you guys. Yeah, you guys don't believe that it exists and that they're just making it up.
Well, there's more to it. But like, so the thing that I was going to go back to was your idea that these satellites are taking pictures of Earth, and he answered your question. So now you have to see the reason behind what I was saying. Can't you just test it here on Earth? You know, the idea that, okay, so now I got an image that shows curvature. Now I'm going to test that. I'm going to go see if there's that curvature out in the beach. You know, go measure. I'm going to measure to see if I can find this curvature. Because it's going to be, if it's defined in the photo, then it should be defined in reality somewhere.
I don't agree with that.
Okay. Why don't
Miggy, please, only one question.
Why don't you agree, Archcurse?
Because pictures aren't everything. Like if you take a picture from space, like obviously it's going to be different if you go to that spot in real life. I mean, like on the planet, because you're 20,000 times smaller on the planet than in space.
Testing and measuring, not just looking. We're not just flapping our eyelids and stopping. Remember with the pictures, you don't just look at it and stop. You don't just go out to the Earth and look and stop. That's when you start the test. They're showing you curved lakes. So you go to test to see if the lake is actually curved. You don't just look out. Because even on a globe, there's mixed signals. But if the globe was true, you wouldn't be seeing curvature. Not from a plane, not from the ground, not from a building, not from... You know what I'm saying? So you wouldn't see it anyway. That's why you have to do the test.
Yeah, I get that. I get that. I get that. But I don't understand why you guys don't believe in space.
Real quick, because the word you said that you don't agree, right? But you maybe in your own experience, you know, there are a lot of things that are real. That even if you agree or don't agree, you don't have to agree for things to just be, right? Your opinion or my opinion have no effect on reality. It doesn't.
Yeah, that's correct.
It doesn't. So that's correct, right? So when someone is presenting information to you, right, and you look in your immediate experience, like right here, like where you're standing, right, and you're looking at the information, let's say it's an observation or you're performing a test, you can infer from that information and maybe come with some conclusions about what you're looking at, right? So the thing that they're telling you about the place that you believe, that you're saying we don't believe, right? Right? Because we're saying it doesn't add up to the laws of nature. So you're saying you believe in that place, we don't, but
yes,
this is you and I, there is no like an opinion between you and I, because you both of us, we haven't been to that place, and you having an opinion that place that you haven't been to, it exists because you believe so, right? I'm telling you, the guys are telling you here, you haven't verified that, and you just believe it.
Well, have you gone to like supposed lake and measured it yourself? Or are you believing what someone else says?
The place that we're standing, the place that you're standing, the place that we can verify, check, experience, right? The place that you're always standing on, we have verified that place many times.
Yeah,
when we verified, our verification falsifies the claim that you have, that you believe that something is out there, right?
Yeah.
We have falsified that claim.
Add that to your wish list, bro. You should, when you get a chance. You don't have to rush to do this, but you can combine a vacation with doing some of these tests. You asked, like, have you guys gone to the lake? Absolutely. I spent a solid month at the coast of San Diego doing long distance observations there. So, like I said, you don't have to rush to do this, but you should. You should add it to your your bucket list or whatever, and do this yourself. That way, you don't have to just believe what I'm saying, or just believe these quote unquote astronauts who are telling you that, don't worry, we've been there, trust us. We can get into the space thing shortly, for sure. We can tell you
I
that.
actually
That's not just an opinion.
Because you guys are talking about reality, right? And like, you guys don't think? Do you guys think rockets are real?
Again, can I?
Yeah, so you guys think satellites are real?
Yeah.
Then why doesn't
I did
space exist?
Hold on. If you actually want to answer the question, let's try to answer the question before you move on. Why do rockets exist? Why did rockets in Boy Scouts? Okay, people love fireworks. There's no issue with being able to shoot technology into the sky. We have technology in the sky, no problem.
Yeah, technology doesn't equal. Technology doesn't, or rocketry, or fireworks, or any of that, or even if we send devices very high up to the layers above our heads, above your head, right? To the layers above. If you send stuff up there, that doesn't mean that where you're standing on is a cartoon globe going through the vacuum of space, okay?
I would say going up isn't going out. Yeah. I don't think you can leave reality.
My bad, bro, CB. I think Sasha has been trying to ask something. Let's give him a minute. Go ahead, Sasha.
Okay.
CB, you are quite quiet, bro. To be honest, your mic's a lot quiet now and again.
Because guy can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, you said that you saw the pictures from the space, from satellites.
Sorry, I was typing it.
Yeah, I'm saying you said that you saw the pictures from the space, and they are showing that Earth is a sphere.
Yeah, that was said ages ago. Yes, yeah.
Yeah. That mean that Earth is sphere also on the ground.
I don't quite understand what you're trying to say.
That mean if you make a picture from the space, and if you make a picture, and if it's sphere, that mean that Earth is a sphere. That means on the ground it's also sphere.
Yeah, he's saying you're saying that you saw a picture or a video, and you're saying that video looks like a sphere. Therefore, the ground that you're standing on is a sphere.
Well, I wouldn't just say that it. Like, my eyes tell me in the videos they explained it. Like in school, they explained why it was a sphere. They gave you all these like maths and stuff, and like all these formulas to explain to you why it is real.
Listen, in the math, in the books, you see the sphere. In the math, in the books, in the coloring, in the
eyes,
cartoon, you see sphere, right? Now we go, like Sasha's trying to tell you. Now, can you find that sphere in reality when you go out there in reality? Can you find it?
Well, I can't. Well, I'm not in space, so I can't see if it's sphere or not.
Can you? Let's put it like this: does that sphere has the dimensions?
Dimensions? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
They supposedly they have got dimensions for it. I can look it up. But yeah.
Okay. Do you know what is drop over distance?
Drop over distance? Is that what you said?
Yeah. That every sphere has drop over distance. Do you understand? If you put on the sphere 2 points A and B, you will have drop over distance. Do you understand?
I don't understand.
If you put on the sphere point A and then you go a little bit away, let's say in this case basketball, doesn't matter. We will speak about that later.
Yeah.
And then you put point B somewhere down. Between them, there is a drop. Curvature, you know?
So based in geometry, if you have one point on let's say a ball geometry, a sphere geometry, right? You put a pinpoint on one spot in the sphere on the surface, and then you move away from that point. Any way you go on the sphere is gonna be dropping away from the other point, right?
Sorry, I was typing again.
Just pay attention for like.
Yeah, sorry, bro. It's hard, bro.
This was your question. This was your question, so make sure you follow along, dude.
It's all good. It's okay. We can repeat it. No problem. Don't worry about it, bro. So geometry. So if you have a point on a sphere and you move away from that point, between those 2 points, there's going to be a difference on altitude and a drop value between those points. Do you agree?
Okay.
I mean, this is geometry. It's not like I made it up or anybody here made it up.
Yeah, I haven't done geometry in like 7 to 8 years. I don't remember any of that.
Do you play soccer or basketball or rugby?
6 years ago, I played soccer.
You play soccer,
or football.
so you see that
football,
sometimes you hold the sphere, the ball.
Yeah, I hold the ball. Yeah.
And if you put your finger on one side of the ball and then use the other hand to put a finger on the other side of the ball, you see there's a difference there. There's a difference value on position, altitude, right? Right? It's a difference.
That's the drop over distance.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, because it's dropping over distance, right?
Yeah. Okay.
If you're on the sphere,
basketball.
If you're on the sphere, Earth, and now 100 miles away from you, there must be a drop. Do you understand that?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. There's a drop in distance. Yeah, because it's a circle. Yeah, so you go down. Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
Okay. Now we have dimensions. Dimensions are 24,000 miles in circumstances. Sorry about my English. It's third language.
It's all good. It's all good.
And radius is 3,959 miles. And then you have with observer height, they will tell you the formula. They'll tell you how much you can see on that big Earth. And with your height, that will be surprise now for you. I also was surprised. With your height, you cannot see more than 3 miles on this Earth because Earth is starting to curve and then it's dropping down,
Yeah.
But when we go to in reality, especially to sea, because sea is sea level, we can see 10 miles, 20 miles, 30 miles, 100 miles.
Yeah, his point is, remember the math that you said, the numbers, the images, the photograph that show you the sphere, that by consequence, logically following, you will have a drop over distance on this sphere because there's a geometry value, there's dimensions to that sphere, so we can measure that drop value from point to point to point to point. You get it, right?
Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
Exactly. So when we go away from the books that you describe, away from the mathematical constructs that we read of on the book, right, or see on the image, and we go test that in reality, guess what we found? There is no drop over distance to the rate value claim in the cartoons and the figures and the numbers that you were learning from and reading from. In reality, there's nowhere to be found.
I don't remember ever being taught like the drop over distance in reality. They just sort of just gave you examples.
That's the foundation of the claim because the sphere has geometry and it has a certain dimensions, which is that there is the diameter, 24,000 miles, right? And the circumference, my bad. The circumference is 24,000 miles, and then the radius, which is the point in the middle of the ball, right, from the center point towards the surface. That's the claim. We can use these values to do math and check those numbers if they conform to reality. Because remember, we have the value in the books, in the figures, in the cartoons.
Right.
Now we went and checked that in reality, in the real world out there, with long distance observations, laser tests, all that, and guess what? The drop value is nowhere to be found in reality. You get that? It's pretty simple.
Yeah, I get it, but I'm pretty sure, like in school, they wouldn't teach you the studies that people do. Like they wouldn't teach you the studies that people do on, like, let's say you're at the sea and you look out.
Let him reply. Go ahead, bro. Go ahead. Just reply, bro. Yes.
So, like, there is no studies in school that I remember that they talked about if you're standing at the beach, how far can you see out to the sea? That's sort of what I understand that you're talking about.
We can measure things, right?
Yes.
Do you need we can study and probably perfect the way of measuring things, but you can measure a table, you can measure a parcel of land, you can measure a lake. People do that all the time, right?
Yeah.
We're capable of doing that stuff.
I wanted to comment on that.
Go ahead.
Well, yeah. Well, you said it perfectly, bro. That they gave you the math, they gave you the claims, they gave you the explanations. They just didn't give you how to test that. So that's what we're telling you, how to test it. And Gemsy, that's what Gemsy's explaining right now. It's just like a table or a parcel or, they've given you all the math, so you can do the test.
Okay.
Yeah. So Sasha told you some of the math already. They're telling you that for about a 6-foot observer, the distance to the Earth curve should be about 3 miles. We can get a little clip, a little video. It's like 90 seconds where they kind of explain this. But yeah, and that's the test that you would need to do. They're saying that their distance to the curvature is at a certain rate, at a certain height off the ground. So 1 foot off the ground, distance to the curve, 1.2 miles.
I couldn't tell you guys if you're right or wrong because I haven't done the test myself or the study. So I can't.
Don't just auto-believe what we're saying. We'll give you all the math and stuff you can check out yourself.
I didn't have the input. I can't answer.
That's fine. We'll give you the information. You can crunch it, and I want you to test it for yourself. Obviously, we're trying to get you out of this auto-believe mode anyway, so you just shouldn't just auto-believe what we're telling you. Go and check to see if what we're saying is true. Is that radius claim we just told you was roughly 4,000 miles? Did you look that up and see if that's true?
I didn't look it up. I sort of just believed you, honestly. That was just like, surely.
You gotta also remember, bro, the figures, the numbers, the ideas, that you're not married to that stuff. You don't have to hold anything as a belief just because someone said so. You operate in reality and you accomplish whatever you have accomplished to this date in reality, right? In the real is level. Then the ideas that have been brought forward and presented to you with imagery, figures, numbers, math, is up to you to verify if that claimed reality that they're claiming is there, but you haven't verified, you haven't experienced, you haven't seen it. Then it's up to you to verify that and believe it if you want to, or falsify it.
It reminds me of Santa Claus, because everyone was telling me that it was real. I went to school and we were making reindeer food. My mom made the cookies and ate it halfway for years. I believed it. Okay, so it was up to me to creep down the stairs one night after hearing wrapping paper and tape and all this stuff.
Is that how you found out? Rip.
Yeah, I did. I creeped down. I'm like, oh, shit. So, like, what Jenny's saying is true. It's up to you to go and test, because they're never going to tell you that. They're never just going to come out point blank and just tell you.
But let me tell you, we're not telling you, hey, bro, buy a laser, or you can.
Yeah, I get you.
You can easily go in reality, do everything you normally, and one day you can do observations, and you know what? I see that's. Let's say that building over there at the coast is probably this far away, and you can do Google Maps, or you can use a map. You can just make an estimate of distance, and then you use the global calculator, right? The sphere calculator, and you say there should be a hill of water between me, the observer, and that point over there, because the sphere is supposed to have a drop value of 8 inches per mile square, right? And if you see beyond that 3 mile point, if you're 6 foot, right, or you see beyond those 2.2 miles, I'm sorry, I don't remember the numbers correctly, but you can double check all these. Don't trust me on the math, bro. But I'm telling you, it has been done already. I'm just trying to tell you, this that we're talking about, it has been done already, and what we do is dependent on the foundations of reality. So the globe has been falsified in the real is level. It's just that some people still believe it. But you yourself can just look and go do an observation and falsify the globe claim yourself and verify reality for what it is.
Okay? Yeah, let me set the table for you real quick. Because they're saying that boats go over the horizon. So let me just play a quick 90-second clip from like 8 or 9 years ago. Somebody, not a flat earther, explaining how the horizon works on the globe. Here it is.
Wait, can you pause? I can't see it.
It's an audio. Just listen.
Hi, I'm Josh Clark, and this is Brain Stuff, and I'm here to answer a very pressing question. Have you ever been standing at the edge of water, say like an ocean, and looked out on the horizon and said, I wonder exactly how far away that horizon is? You know, where the sky meets the sea. That's the horizon. Well, it turns out because the Earth is curved that it depends on where you're standing and how far above water you're standing. Let's say that you are in the water, right? And you're up to, say, your eyes are about 8 inches above the water surface. Well, again, remember the Earth is curved, and despite the ocean seeming flat, they actually curve themselves, which if you've ever really looked at the horizon, it kind of goes like this a little.
I just paused it there for a moment because what he's saying is he's doing an arc left to right. He's saying you can visually see the curve left to right, and then he'll say you can see it front to back. I wanted to just highlight that before we move on, but let's continue.
A little bit, which is pretty cool. But it also goes like this, right? So if your eyes are 8 inches above the water, right then you're about a mile away from that horizon point where the sky meets the ocean as far as you can tell. If you're standing up above water and you're like I am about 6 feet tall, that means your eyes are about 5.5 feet above the water's edge, which means that you're about 3 miles away from the horizon. Isn't that amazing? Going from 8 inches above water, 5.5 feet above water, is the distance between 2 miles between you and the horizon. Mind-blowing, if you ask me.
So this is where it all kicked off. When I joined this whole flat Earth debate, discussion, whatever, globe Earth versus flat Earth, one of the first arguments I heard was boats go over the curve. Boats go over the horizon. The horizon is curved. So that's where a lot of things kick off here. Do you understand what he said about the horizon being the place where the sky meets the Earth?
Yeah.
Okay. And
bro, since the bot is very, how do you say, sensible, when you type certain words, it will give you issues. But don't worry about it. You didn't do anything wrong. It's just that we have a bot that filters that stuff, so people are not falling. And
sorry. I'm Australian, so I'm sorry for cursing. I'm so used to it. It's like what I use my daily.
Don't worry, I'm gonna give you the perms back because you've been cool and very cordial and very polite. You've been having a.
You should be able to see the chat now. I went ahead and unmuted you.
Oh, sorry about that. It's just how Australians.
No worries. Once you get a few other roles in the server, it'll go away. But anyway,
I removed it and gave it to him the VC verified again, so he can see the chat because the dictation will take him away from the chats.
Yeah.
You're back.
Oh, yeah, sorry, that's all right. Oh, so it's because I said the F word. All right, that's understandable.
Yeah, it's all good. I'll give you the out of jail free card. Don't worry about it. Got you, bro.
I had a question for Archcurse. If you could hear me, all right.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Screw the horizon, I guess. Forget the horizon.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I don't want to derail.
Real quick,
ask it later. It would derail the
No, it's all good.
a little bit.
Go ahead, bring that point to a logical conclusion. Go ahead.
Right. So we would just touch on the horizon. So we know what it is, the place where the sky meets the Earth, and what the claim is that it's curving at a certain distance away from you, at a certain height off the ground.
Yep.
Okay. So we could walk you through testing that claim, but
I could just test it myself.
Seems like somebody else wants to go ahead. Jump in, guys. Go ahead.
You're done with the horizon? Because, like I said, this kind of is a foundational question. Okay.
Well,
go ahead. I was curious. After listening to Archcurse speak a little bit, and I think it's great that he came in here. I wanted to get an idea of kind of your foundational beliefs. Like, I hear a lot of appeal to authority, obviously. So, do you look into have you looked into any other conspiracies? How do you feel about governments? How do you feel about have you looked into?
I think the government's always. I don't believe the government. I don't trust the government. Any of the governments.
Like the education system, pharmaceutical.
I think the education is bullshit. I don't like the education system. Not in the way they.
I like this, and I like your question, but let's keep it.
Yeah.
Let's try to keep it concise, not just overall term like operates. Because if we start talking about, like you're saying, pharmaceutical and stuff, we're gonna have to move on.
Yeah, I didn't want to go in depth on it. I just wanted to get a foundation, like because if you trust all the institutions, all right, that may be. But yeah, Go ahead. Sorry about that, guys.
No need to apologize. Just go on and keep it concise because he's definitely following what we're saying. There's other people that are just a lot of stuff goes over their heads. Now, I'm not saying he's getting everything, but at least he's listening. He's receptive, and he's having a conversation. So if we can keep it specific to certain things, he can eventually maybe expand his knowledge on those topics and come back to us like, guys, I agree with you in this and that, or not, So.
Understood. My apologies. Thank you.
Cool. It's all good. No, it's all good, bro. If you can ask him a question, but maybe in a specific topic related to,
Yeah, I got you. I was just curious because myself, flat Earth was the very last gate that I entered through. So I find it interesting that and cool that he's here. So I wanted to get an idea of the foundation of his beliefs, but that's all I'm going to speak about. That topic. I don't have any questions.
Go ahead and reply bro. Go ahead.
About what? The education system and the government and stuff like that? Is that what you wanted me to answer, or go back to the original topic? Yeah, I believe that the stuff taught in school doesn't really help you in real life. I believe that it should be changed. Obviously, I've never trusted the government because I don't follow the government or like any of the politics. I just it's too much energy, and I just think that the government can do what they want. It doesn't really affect my life, so I don't really pay attention on what they're doing. Other when they pay increased taxes and stuff like that, it's sort of annoying because I have to pay more. But that's whatever.
Yeah, that's kind of like a general feeling that a lot of people have. So
yeah, I'm 23, bro. I'm too young to care about that stuff.
Yeah, try to kind of the mentality of the government and the overall mentality of people. You want to kind of have a different perspective of things, because if people are going somewhere, sometimes you want to know before they go there, and you can take an advantage of that, right? So if people operate under an emotional perspective of what the government is doing day in, day out, all the time, you're going to be following the herd all the time. And if they fall off the cliff, you're going to fall off the cliff too.
Yeah, of course. I am part of the herd, but that is just how it is right at the moment. And I got added about the NASA government. Maybe it's because I live in Australia, but I don't really get much input about the NASA government at all, honestly.
But remember,
I don't follow the news much as well.
We try to operate in reality, and things are not black and white, right? So when people say government bad, people bad, everything fake, that's a mentality that you don't want to be kind of just having that way of operating. You want to be practical. You want to be able to operate in the public and in the real East level with everybody. And if they operate in a fictitious way of operating, you can just move away from them, because you can do that.
Yeah, well, if you guys were let's say you guys were the government and you guys were the teachers, obviously I would have a different output on everything. But
what does that mean? You mean if let's say I'm a teacher and I'm teaching you what is your output? Because I'm a teacher. I have a title of a teacher now, and what will be the difference besides speaking to a regular GMC versus the teacher GMC?
Sorry, I'm typing to the guy typing to me.
You're saying that if people have certain qualifications or positions, you're saying that it's gonna be different the way you hear.
The way I would have learned would have been the way I would have learned about the world would have been different.
Okay. Because I see. I'm trying to hear what you're saying, and I am.
Yeah, I talk fast. Sorry, it's
it's all good. The thing is that when you concentrate on the real East level, things get a lot. The spectrum of reality is huge, right? I mean, I'm sorry, it's a lot to do, a lot to learn out there, and you start by standing up, walking, and going out there, right? Step by step, based on your sensory and the what you can do in reality, right? So there's a lot of information out there that is a waste of time. Obviously, we all know that, and you want to filter a lot of that so you can concentrate on the real thing instead of wasting your energy, wasting your time on a lot of stuff. Because we are here on the internet, we all do it. We talk about stuff all day, yeah, and I enjoy doing it myself. But we have to be more conscious about what we actually do, and we have to be the ones, at the least, and this vehicle that is in your body, you should be the one driving it, not other people just giving you inputs and you acting up on what other people are saying because they're saying it. Okay.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, the video I just sent you, dude, there is a cosmonaut. There's two, I think there's two cosmonauts now, actually, that have said they've never been to outer space. So what you got to realize, and what we're urging you to do, is that this is like third-hand knowledge by what I've sent you. So it's interesting. It's worth looking at, right? The people that you said, oh, they've been to space, they've been there. That's second-hand knowledge. We can't verify that, can we? So that's what we kind of do here. We just sort of say, can you look into things for yourself? Maybe even test it yourself. That'd be great if you live near a large body of water. That'd be even better. So just to urge you to think for yourself, that's really what I think is the best thing about this server.
Yeah, I got what you're saying. I'm just watching the video, so I'm going to be a bit zoned out.
Hey, man, you have a good one. Go watch some videos. There's a lot of channels in this server. The additional information, so just go through links. Also check the Wikipedia of the Flat Earth Discord. There's a huge Wikipedia, a lot of examples. So just go through the information, do your own thing at your leisure, and come back at us whenever you want, and we can have the conversation again if you want. If you have questions or comments and that kind of stuff, okay?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm zoned out, sorry.
So good.
Spartans! What is your profession?
See, old friend, I brought more soldiers than you did.